HR leaders play a vital role today, serving as the architects of human capital, weaving together the thread of talent, culture, and strategy. With me, I have a very special guest today, Mr. Ankit Agarwala, who heads the Page Group in India as the managing director. Before any further ado, let's join into a conversation with him. Michael Page is a leading global recruitment firm specializing in permanent and temporary recruitment. With over 40 years of experience, Michael Page operates in 37 countries worldwide and has a strong presence in India. The company's mission is to connect the world's best talent with leading businesses. Michael Page launched its India business in 2011 and currently has over 220 special recruiters working on mid to senior level roles in 11 disciplines across offices in Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore. The clients in India range from large multinational and Indian conglomerates to small and medium-sized companies across digital, analytics, engineering, manufacturing, finance, accounting, healthcare, and much more.
Marksman Daily presents C-Suite Conversations.
Mr. Agarwala, it is a pleasure to receive you and thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview.
It's my pleasure, Sakshi. Good to be chatting to you again.
Long time.
Yes.
Mr. Agarwala, we've known you representing a brand like Michael Page India. Who are you like as a person beyond your boardroom?
Passion is the first word which comes to mind, Sakshi. I'm a very passionate person. I take full interest in anything that I do and I involve myself 100%. So I would say I'm an intense, passionate person who likes to bring people together and make the impossible happen.
Since you've mentioned your experiences both working abroad and India, what is it like culturally and interacting with people?
There are differences. I think the first word which comes to mind is opportunity. India offers an opportunity which other places don't today. It has the market, it has the growth, it has the human resources. So the action is here, the excitement is here. And I encourage people to revel in that opportunity today and enjoy that opportunity. Working overseas has its advantages. You get exposed to a multicultural workforce. You get more independent in handling your own affairs, which are things which definitely add to your personality. But if you ask me, professional opportunity, Sakshi, it's all here today.
Just keep your eyes and ears open.
Absolutely.
So you've deep driven into human capital. How important are people to you, especially in your organization and beyond? Because outside also you got to deal with people and understand them.
Absolutely, they are the most important asset. And I start within the organization. We've nurtured our own people over a very long period of time. As I mentioned, I've been in the company 14 years. And I've had the good fortune of having colleagues who've been with me for most of that journey, who've been with Page for many, many years, who share the dream, who share the vision, who have the same value system. So that's been a big support system for me internally and a big reason behind our success in the last many years. Externally, we are in the business of changing lives for the better. Finding the person an opportunity which is a great fit for him or her. It's a life-changing experience and it gives us an immense amount of satisfaction making that happen. So I don't know of too many other businesses which can give you that level of satisfaction by doing your day-to-day job.
In a career, everything is not always smooth. There are certain times you take the wrong decision and then you're stuck. What has your challenges been like?
I've been in that situation most of the time, Sakshi, because you make far more wrong or bad decisions than you make right decisions. It's a fact. So I've had many phases in my career where I've made decisions or I didn't know better at a certain point in time and I looked back and I said, oh, I should have really done that better. I can take you back about 11 to 12 years when I came back to India from overseas and where our organization was just starting off in the country. Today, Page is a brand which everyone knows. 12 years back in India, Page was a brand that hardly anyone knew. One of the common running jokes we have in the company is that 12 years back, if I called someone saying, this is Ankit from Michael Page, the response was, "Nice to talk to you, Michael. I'll call you back in some time." And that joke just depicts where our brand was 12 years back and where our brand is today. So to answer your question, there were a lot of difficulties. I think I made a lot of decisions which didn't work out. We were not sure of what kind of people worked for us, so we hired a lot of people who didn't work out. We didn't have a clear commercial strategy. We had to find the sweet spot through a lot of hit and miss and a little bit of thinking as well. But it took us many years to really get into the right mode where we felt we could really grow this business. It took us many, many years.
I want to know what has been your best learning with all these hiccups, all this while, longer than we know, maybe challenges worse than others, but you came out blooming as a brand. What is that one thing that you've learned over time?
I have learned plenty of things, but some things which really come to mind: clarity of thought as a business. Every strategy can be a good one or a bad one depending on how well it is executed with a clear plan. So every individual, every leader, and every business needs to have a clarity of thought about what they are trying to do. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't work, that's fine. You can recalibrate it. But if you don't have clarity, you don't go anywhere. With people, you need to pick the right people because that saves a lot of time.
Well, how would you know who's right for you? That would also take a lot of strategy and thinking and communicating.
It does. The first thing, always check for the alignment of the value system of the organization and the person. This is the biggest mistake, Sakshi, which most organizations make. They check first for the skill and the value system is an afterthought. It doesn't work. Check first for the value system. If that matches, check to what degree the skill matches, because skills are coachable. But value system is not. And if you do that right, 80 to 90% of the time, you will get the right hire. It's not a perfect science. You will still make mistakes, but you're going to get it right most of the time if that's the approach.
Half the war won.
Absolutely. And then invest. Be patient with people. Patience is a virtue which is getting rarer and rarer by the day. People need time to reach their potential. You need to invest in them, develop them, and give them some time to achieve their potential. And if you do, it's a beautiful feeling when they do.
How important is a resume? I'm sure there'll be a lot of resumes being, coming through in your inbox. What is that one thing that you look forward for? Not only for a client, but for someone who you would want to hire in your team.
So the first thing is result orientation in a resume. A lot of people talk about what they've done, but not what they have achieved, number one. Number two, it's a grounded way of representing what you have done. You'll see a lot of resumes with huge amounts of self-praise. I'm a proven individual. I am the best individual.
I'm an asset to the company.
I'm an asset to the company. Hold on. Let the future employer make that call. Right? So I think if someone can represent what they've done in a grounded way, in a fair and objective way, and highlight the difference that they've made and the achievements that they've brought to the table, it's a great way to represent what you've done, and it makes for a time efficient process. So some facts and figures are welcome and necessary, but they should be done in a very succinct way. The other thing which I would highlight is talk about what you've done which supports your value system. If you're someone who believes in DE&I, don't write in a line that I believe in DE&I. Mention on your resume where you've taken personal interest in making a difference to a person or a group of individuals. So these things convey your passion, your authenticity, and your values as a person, which is also very important.
A leader always has a mentor. What is your story like?
I've learned from a lot of people, Sakshi, but my first corporate boss is someone I can't forget in terms of the learnings I had from there. So this is my first leadership stint ever, and this was when I used to work with a bank. And I went in with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy, a lot of knowledge, and some pedigree about what I was doing. but things didn't work. Yeah, and I tried even harder, and things didn't work at all. Yeah, and I was in a leadership role where I was working with people, many of whom were much older than I was as well. And I think there's one thing which my boss said then, which has today become a pretty popular leadership quote, which has stuck with me and which has worked for me always, that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right? So invest time to build relationships with people. Don't be shy of spending time doing that with your people, because if you do that and if you build solid ground with people, it will really help you achieve the business goals and do it in a way which makes not just you but everyone around you happy and fulfilled.
And eventually it's about relationship building, right?
Absolutely, but we don't do enough of it today.
One advice or words of wisdom you like to give the viewers, especially who are looking out for jobs and they're not very sure what is it that they need to pen down in their resume?
Sure. Firstly, be sure of what your skills are. Today we are not in a generalist economy or a generalist market, Sakshi. We are in an age of specialism. So every individual needs to know what are their skills which stand out, and it can't be 10 things. Yeah, what are your top 2 or 3 selling points which are in demand today in the market? And you need to tailor your resume around what really sticks out for you in terms of your skill and as a person, and make sure it syncs with what the market is asking, what employers are looking for. And that's a pretty common mistake, because what you see in CVs usually is a dump of information.
It's not authentic.
It's not authentic, and maybe 95% of it is not relevant to what the potential employer is looking for. So you have to make the effort to make that information relevant for the potential employer.
My last question to you today, Mr. Agarwala, what would your advice be to the C-suite audiences who are viewing this interview about addressing their potential and marching forward?
And I speak with a lot of business heads and senior professionals every day, and it gives me the opportunity to understand where they succeed, what are their frustrations, where they typically get stuck. And I've had one big learning out of having all these conversations, that as you get more advanced and more senior in your career, trust trumps talent. Yeah, there are a lot of talented people out there who are mid-career or late career, but many of them are not able to realize their potential because they don't get the right opportunities, because their organizations and the people around them believe in their ability but don't believe in them. Yeah. So make sure you build trust with those around you, whether it's the people above you, your bosses, whether it's your peers, or whether it's the most junior employee, including people like your receptionist, someone who helps you in your pantry. That trust helps you always. Yeah, and as you get more senior, if you have those trustworthy relationships with people, you will get more opportunities compared to those who don't have those trustworthy relationships. Because as a senior leader, I would prefer to have someone working for me who I trust 100%, even if their ability is 70%, rather than a person whose ability is 100%, but who I cannot trust fully. And that's been my biggest learning.
Great. Thank you so much for your insight. I think it is a great value add.
No, my pleasure.
Great. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you, Sakshi.
This was my conversation with Mr. Ankit Agarwala, where we spoke about the talent landscape for today and for tomorrow. Thank you so much for giving C-Suite Conversation so much love, and I'll see you for the next episode.